Adam and Eve sinned against God. They should have died that day. There shouldn't have been mercy. They should have been destroyed. The great flood that took away all the nations except for Noah. There's only one problem. Noah was a sinner. He should have died too. God calls forth Abraham out of the nations and calls him a friend. There's only one problem. Abraham disbelieved God and also sinned. God called David his son, and David basically committed murder and most certainly committed adultery. And because of his pride, caused the death of many of his countrymen. Can you imagine the accuser? You see, up until this time, only justice was known. Satan rebelled in heaven, and justice, perfect justice, swept him away. Do you see that? No mercy, justice. And can you imagine on the day that he gave a gracious prophecy to Adam? Can you imagine Satan standing there going, God, what's wrong? You're no longer just. He must die. How can you pardon him? Do you imagine Noah in the ark? God, what's wrong? Have you come down off of your throne? This man should have died too. David, you call him a son? How can you do all this and be a just God? How can you pardon his sin? He must die. 2,000 years, God answered the question. Do you want to know how I can give a favorable prophecy to Adam? Do you want to know how I can save Noah, a sinful man, from the certainty of death in a raging flood? You want to know how I can call a man named Abraham from the city of Ur and call him my friend? You want to know how I can call David a son? Here's your answer. My son has died for them all. So once and for all, 2,000 years ago, God demonstrated how He can now be both just and the justifier of wicked men, because His Son paid the price for them. And yes, you need to understand something. Abraham and Noah and David were saved the same way you are. They looked to the promise of God. They believed God. But what you need to understand is believing God is not enough to save you unless God has paid for the price. Your faith doesn't pay the price. Your faith must be in the one who paid it, and that's Jesus Christ.